Good morning, YouTube, BookTube. This is Johnny. This is a video I'm making. I commented to my recent comments that I was going to make a video showing the used books that I've got the last couple, going into last year. I mean, I've accumulated about 28 used books from thrift stores, and I was going to make a video today. Today is the last Sunday of January 2024. It is January the 28th. It's a Sunday morning. It's 8:54. And what this video is that usually I've mentioned countless times that I keep an online diary and LiveJournal called Crooked Fingers. And in LiveJournal, there are different communities, and one of the communities that I have belonged to for many years is called Paperexpressions, and then there's Embodiment. And what those are is where you talk about your journals and your diaries. And I'm the only person that really has stayed consistent in doing this over the last 21 years. I don't know when I started posting photos of my diary, my paper diaries. I don't know, I don't remember what year. It was not started by me. It was started by another girl, a lady in LiveJournal. She doesn't make that many, she doesn't really stay on top of it anymore, but she's the one that started it. I forgot what her name is. My mind just went blank. But usually what I do at the end of the year, I take photos of that year of diaries, and I didn't do it this year. And so I thought what I'd do, just to be consistent, is I'd post a video of showing my 2023 diaries. This morning, for some reason I've been coughing all morning, and maybe it's pollen in the air, allergies. So what I was going to show you, I have to start my February 2024 diary, and how I do it. I'm not going to do the whole how I do it. Just I get these from Staples, these calendars, and then I rip them out. Today is February. Well, tomorrow, Thursday. This coming Thursday will be February the 1st. So I take these out of this folder, and then I cut the edges off because it won't fit in the folder. I'll show you in a minute. So yeah, I've been doing this, I don't know how many years. As I've mentioned in these videos, I've been keeping a paper diary since 1968, when I was like in the 11th or 12th grade in Richmond, California. Now, I always qualify that by saying that in those early days, I didn't write all the time. I don't think I really start writing all the time in a paper diary until around, I became a Christian in 1970, and I would write sporadically, and I've told you over the years that I kept my writings in a tin kind of trunk, beat up, a traveler's trunk underneath my foster parents' house there in Richmond, California. I was underneath it, and every once in a while I go underneath the house. It was like, it had like a little storage room, and then you could see off under the house. It was all dry, and I would keep them in there. And I kept them at different places over the years, but the point is that every time I would write something, I stored in there. And then I start writing all the time, I'd say around maybe 73, 74, I started writing all the time. And then when I left California in 77, 78, before I left California, I burned all those diaries. And I not only kept diaries, but I had diaries. I kept like all kinds of, alternative newspapers. I was a conscious objector in the Vietnam War. I kept all that anti-war material. I kept letters and photos, and I collected stuff. But when I left California in 78, I had a half a year of 78. So I have from 1978 and some stuff from 1977 down the lower level until today. So then I cut this out, and then I use these folders. As I've mentioned, you can only put about 65 pages of notebook paper in a folder. So I usually use 2. I usually I keep in one folder from the 1st to the 15th, and then in the second folder from the 16th to the end of the month. And then I put on, I'm not going to do this completely because time is flying, and I got to show you my 2023 diaries. But I'm just going to show you what I do basically. So yeah, I don't know why I write. I think I was first inspired by the Allen Ginsberg, who kept diaries. And also once I got into writers, that a lot of writers, not only writers, poets, even ordinary people, have kept diaries over the years. So then I put the month, and then I put the calendar inside the folder. Now I haven't done this kind of how I do it now. I don't know when I started this. In the early days, I didn't have calendars in front of my diaries. I didn't write down page numbers, things like that, which I do now. But back in those early days, I didn't. And I don't know when I started doing that. So, but that's how I do it now. And it kind of works. I think you start using calendars in my paper diaries when I was doing my internship back in the 80s, because I had to write down what I had to do for my internship, a ministerial internship, like what meetings or missionary week or Sunday school, or when I was going to preach, or if I had an appointment. But I just continued to do that. So then I put them in there, and that's how I do it. I'm not going to do any more of that because time is running out. Today I'm on page 81 for my 2024 diary. This morning I'm reading for devotions, General Directions for Comfortable Walking with God by Robert Bolton. So now I'm going to show you my 2023 diaries. I'm doing this for embodiment, and I'm not going to really go into great detail, just show them. This is January 2023. I started on page 1. And then I ended on January on page 87. I usually write around 87 pages. And then I have February, and I started on page 88, and I ended on page 171. And then you have March. And in these I keep stuff in the pockets. You can see in the pockets. I keep all receipts, emails, things like that. On March I ended on page 273. And then you have April 2023. I started on page 274. I ended on page 361 in April. And then you have, put those on the floor. And then you have May 19th is when we celebrate our wedding anniversary. This coming May, we've been married 45 years. On May, the first day of May, I was on page 362. I ended on May on page 462. And then we have June 2023. June, last June, my wife was gone. She went out to Denver to visit our daughter and her family. On the 1st of June, I was on page 463. I ended on page 558 in June of 2023. And then you have July. I started on page, when I started on page in July, I was on page, see, I keep things in, these are things I copied off. I started on July on page 559, and then I ended on page 653, and then August is my birthday. In August 2024, on the 14th of August, I'll be 72. I started on page 654, the first day of August 2023. I ended on page 763, the last day of August 2023. And then we come into the autumn time. My favorite times of year are like spring, summer, and autumn. In September of 2023, I was on the first day of September, I was on page 764. The last day of September 2023, I was on page 858. And then in October of 2023, the first day of October 2023, I was on page 859. The last day of October 2023, I was on page 963. And then November came, and I was, the first day of November 2023, I was on page 964. The last day of October 2023, I was on page 1055. And then we come to December 2023. The first day of September 2023, I was on page 1056. And I ended December 2023 on page 1154. So those are my diaries. I have downstairs 45 years of these diaries. Now you can see why I don't want to leave them to my children and to my wife. Like other night, if you don't know about our house, there's a fireplace here. We don't use the fireplace. It's an open fireplace. It opens up into the dining room and opens up into the living room. I told my wife the other night that if she dies first, I'm going to have a chimney sweep the chimney and get it all prepared to burn wood. The reason why we don't use the fireplace is because my wife is allergic to smoke. she's allergic to any kind of perfume, incense, wood smoke, so we don't use the fireplace. But if my wife was to pass away and go to heaven, I would get the chimney, get everything prepared to burn wood in it, and then I would burn all my diaries. Now, when I left California to go to Bible college in 77, 78, it took me 2 days to burn my diaries. My girlfriend at that time had a big, huge, she had a fireplace that extended into the living room, and then it went into the master bedroom. And I spent 2 days burning everything. Just think how long it would take to burn. Now, if Carol and I lived to be in our 80s, Carol just visited one of her friends yesterday. She's 97. Carol's mother died when she was 89. Carol was saying this is her mother's birthday. If she's still alive, Carol's mother would be 102. But one of Carol's friends that she had coffee with the other day is 97. And then Carol had breakfast with one of her childhood friends yesterday morning, who's in town visiting her mother. And her mother is 95. 95. So if I live to be in my 90s, I'll have, hopefully I'll still have my mind functioning. So I have all these diaries, and then so you have over all these. It's just massive. And then I also keep stuff. I keep these little notebooks downstairs in the lower level. When I go downstairs to sleep at night, I write in my composition notebooks. I started doing this a couple of years ago. So I have these. These are just notebooks. And then I subscribe to Heather Cox Richardson. She's an American historian. I subscribe to her letters. Heather Cox Richardson from Letters from an American. She's an American historian, and every day she writes a letter about current American history, what's going on what is going on today in America, politics, the economy, what has happened in American history in the past, and how it's being, you see the same patterns in a current American history. So I don't copy every single letter. She writes a letter every single day. I keep some of them that I find interesting. So I keep those in my 2023 diary, and I still do the same thing. And starting here in January of 2024, I copy off some of her letters and keep compositions books. So that's what I do. So it's a massive thing. And many years ago, I keep an online diary, Crooked Fingers, and for many years, I copied off on the printer what I wrote in my online diary. And that really, I was getting almost 1,300 and 400 pages. Also, for many years, I kept music magazines like Spin, No Depression, Rolling Stones. I keep all kinds of stuff. I keep receipts, emails, I keep all kinds of stuff. So it's a massive kind of thing. So yeah, these are my 2023 diaries. I can film this video. I'm filming it. I'll paste it into my online journal communities, Embodiment and Paperexpressions. Put these back down in the lower level. I store these in plastic bins downstairs, which can hold maybe sometimes 3 years, 4 years. I stack them on top of one another, and then I lay across them like paper bags to separate them. I separate them, and then I'll put another year on top, and then another year on top. And it gets pretty full. I have, of course, the lower level, there's a storage room that's just filled with bins full of my paper diaries and my stuff. So yeah, that's what I do. I am a diary writer. I'm a journalist. I don't write down treatises of philosophy. I just write down my life as it's lived out here in America. The last 35 years we've lived in this hermit hut, raised our family, our kids are married, having their families, working. Carol went to church this morning, and I am seeking to walk comfortably with God. So I hope you're having a good Sunday, have a good new week. I will film the video of showing you the used books. I just want to show these diaries so I can put this video into my online paper diary communities in LiveJournal. Since I didn't take any photos of 2023 diaries, which I usually do, I decided I'd just do a video, just get it off my mind. So I hope you're having a good weekend, having a good Sunday. I don't know about who's going to win the football games. Since I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, I kind of lean towards the San Francisco 49ers, but of course I live here in Michigan, so everybody is excited that the Detroit Lions are going to be playing. As far as the Chiefs and the Ravens, I don't think the Chiefs can beat the Ravens, but who knows. Anyway, I'll sign off. Do pray that you have a good day, and I will make another video sometime soon. I just want to make this video. I'm repeating myself, I know. So have a good day, a good week, and until next time, bye.